think we want to spend a little time talking about the throne speech.
Yes, indeed.
Macro observations, a lot of spending, but not an awful lot of information about the source of that wealth that would be distributed, and then obviously the net effect, portents of deficits in the future.
Well, Ken, of course, the throne speech delivered by Our Honour, the Lieutenant Governor of the Province of Ontario, Elizabeth Dowswell, certainly identified, I know, 3 key areas that are important here in Peterborough. A renewed investment in mental health. Backdrop to that, just recently in a conversation I had with Peterborough Police Chief Murray Rod, about 35% of their service calls now are related to individuals with mental health conditions. Also had a chat with Terry Guile, who's a head of the executive officer for the downtown BIA. More and more, they're seeing individuals in the downtown core exhibiting mental health conditions. So when you look at the throne speech, from a Peterborough perspective, that investment in mental health is going to be crucial, and we'll provide more details about it in the budget, which will be delivered next Wednesday, March the 28th. Secondly, home care. While we're making considerable investments in home care in the province of Ontario, we certainly recognize that more needs to be done in that area. People giving their druthers would rather have a loved one spend as much of their time at home as possible. But in order to make that happen, a renewed investment needs to be made there. And of course, we have experienced the last 12 months or so, due to a flu season that put tremendous pressure on hospitals throughout the province of Ontario, the opportunity to provide some relief in that area. Having said that, we continue as a preventive measure. All Ontarians should get their flu shot because ultimately, at the end of the day, that's an important preventive measure to take upon oneself in order to reduce some of that pressure in ERs in every corner of the province of Ontario.
Again, I appreciate that, but you would think that the last throne speech before going to election would not only be a spending plan, but also start to create the framework for the stimulus on the economy and the revenue side to support this. I mean, elections are as much a referendum on the spending as is how we're going to get there. And I guess, what are some of the things that you think were in the throne speech that would give us a sense of driving the wealth to support these expenditures?
Well, let me chat about that for a moment. Of course, right now, the unemployment rate in the province of Ontario is at 5.5%. That's the lowest unemployment rate in the last 17 years in the province of Ontario. With more people working, you generate more tax revenue, you generate more economic activity, and with a growth rate 2% plus, we're seeing that occur. With the increase in the minimum wage on January 1st of this year to $14 an hour, and then the increase to $15 an hour January 1st, 2019, that impacts 1.1 million Ontarians, which provides more disposable income for 1.1 million.
More tax revenue.
More tax revenue, more purchasing power, and that's and the opportunity for that $1.1 million to actually better their lives by making sure that if hardworking men and women in the province of Ontario that put long hours in, a 40-hour work week, that they're going to receive an increase to try to make their lives a little better.